Welcome to The Snake Pit, a series of shorter pieces to provide background on the people and the places linked in the horrific Epstein child sex trafficking abuse case. Just a reminder about this podcast, the content can be disturbing.
This is Lisa with The Snake Pit, Chapter 1. First off, we have Epstein's assistant, Sarah Kellen Kensington Bonk, 3 bags full, Vickers, so many names. She reinvented herself after leaving Epstein as an interior designer, but nothing has been updated on her website or her Facebook or her Instagram accounts for that business for a very long time. She was photographed with Epstein in 2012, so after he served time in jail, and he sent her $250,000 just before he died. The question is why? Plus, Sarah is also covered by that dodgy immunity deal from Florida. Police were close to arresting Kellen in 2006 for 2 charges relating to sexual battery of minors. According to police reports, she was his chief Palm Beach organiser and lived also with Story Cowles in Manhattan. How cosy. They both also visited Epstein in jail many times. What do you know, Sarah? Unfortunately, we may not ever hear from her because she has claimed the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. So she's refusing to assist with the Epstein investigation. Now, here's her story, according to what we can find on the internet. She's accused of recruiting and scheduling up to 6 sessions a day for Epstein in the Palm Beach mansion. She allegedly prepared the oils and the lotions in the room where the abuse occurred. And she also accompanied the girls up to the room and took their details. Apparently, according to a crisis communication person, she was born into the Jehovah's Witness community and married at 17. Now, I've tried to track down her mother, Kellen Bonk, with 0 luck. I have found some Jehovah's Witness in Northern Carolina. Now, I've yet to find an ex-husband. I found a potential set of in-laws. But who knows, because as I said, she won't speak up. So Sarah said she was drawn into Epstein's cult, or whatever you want to call it, after being cast aside in that community and obviously being married at 17. I'm not going to make any excuses for her because she was an adult by the time she hooked up with Epstein and Ghislaine. She's trying to say she's a classic victim, and there's footage of her on the State Attorney General's website with all the other Epstein documents of her coming in to not really give a deposition because basically she said nothing. So this went on for years with Epstein. They were certainly very close. She also had her handwriting on the messages, the phone message pad that the police found when they were surveilling Epstein's mansion. She also contacted some of the victims once news of the investigation got out, and she called them several times a day, including at one point while there was a police officer in the room. She was asking questions about what do the police know? What have you said? What haven't you said? Who else have they called? So as much as you would like to sympathise with her past, she was there for a long time. She had money, so she would have been able to escape. So here were the charges the police were anticipating against Sarah Kellen. Principal in the first unlawful sexual activity with a minor, 4 counts. Can you believe that? 4 counts. And principal in the first lewd and lascivious molestation, 1 count. I don't know what that means because I'm not a lawyer, but it does sound bad. And these charges were lumped in with another recruiter, Hayley Robson. So where is she now? Well, her husband, Brian Vickers, the ex-NASCAR guy, he's putting their best life up on Instagram, left, right and centre. He's even on Twitter quite a lot. So you'll see them in France a lot, skiing in Europe, sometimes in Barbados, sometimes in Japan. Go, Sarah. And as I was saying, she's yet to assist the investigation. So you can see Brian Vickers quite clearly on Instagram if you want to have a look. It's also on our website, Jeffrey Epstein podcast.com, because he did take his Instagram profile down for a while, but now it's back up there. So is his mother's. Yes, Brian Vickers' mother. Her name is Ramona, but Sarah's is a protected account. She has a quote about God on there as well, that something about you have to go through the bad times to get to the good times. But I think she's laughing all the way around the world at the moment. She lives part of the time in Miami in an oceanfront apartment, but anyone who has any information on her past as a Jehovah's Witness member, please contact us. We tried to find a husband and we found one guy, but he drinks a lot of alcohol, according to his Facebook profile, so we haven't had any more luck. Sarah, if you're listening, you can come on our show, tell your side of the story. Although I doubt you will because of that dodgy immunity deal. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening to Chapter 1. We will now have Chapter 2, which is all about her really close friend, Story Cowles. There's photos of them on our Jeffrey Epstein podcast.com website.
There were many people behind Epstein who allowed his sex trafficking business to flourish. I'm going to talk about someone today who does not get enough attention, in my opinion. His name is Story Cowles, Epstein's personal assistant. If you look on Google, you can see a lot of photos of him with Sarah Kellen. Now, Sarah Kellen was Ghislaine Maxwell's lieutenant, and they lived together for a time in Mark Epstein's block of apartments in New York City. It was a $1 million apartment that they shared together. So what does he know about the Epstein conspiracy, if anything? A lot, according to visitor logs from the dead pervert's prison visit records. Now, according to CNBC, no one visited Epstein more than Story Cowles, and he was there 130 times. He signed in as a paralegal, even though he's not one. Now, he's currently an investment banker with Tobin & Co., and his name was mentioned on Florida court documents from the days of the immunity deal. Now, that is what's at the heart of all of this. This is why Epstein's associates are free, because of that immunity deal and the subsequent cover-up. Now, according to the Daily Mail, Epstein was using Story Cowles to serve as his MRC at the time, so his messenger. And prison records obtained by the Daily Mail do show that he visited Epstein every single day before he was granted work release. He would arrive in the morning on most days, stay for a few hours, and then leave around lunchtime. He would then return a second time and leave again around 7 p.m. What were they doing? What was going on? What were they talking about? So he spent about 6 or 7 hours in jail each day, despite himself having committed no crime. That's a lot of time with Epstein. I'm sure he has information that can help law enforcement. That is, of course, if law enforcement's doing anything. I haven't seen much from the FBI. The Justice Department, they're going after the prison guards. Low-hanging fruit. So he lived in a home with Kellen, as we know. There are lots of photos of him online. His late mother, Elizabeth, was married to a railroad heir, so he's got a lot of money. So how did he get caught up with Epstein? In 2009, he attended a young friend of the American Red Cross Party at Trump's golf resort. And there's photos of him there. Now, these days, he's living his best life according to his Facebook profile, as you can see from the pictures I've put up. Why has he just gone on and lived with no consequences? Much like Sarah Kellen, flies through the world with her NASCAR racing husband, Brian Vickers. That's my question. Leslie Groff Taylor, she's off to Pilates, lives in Connecticut, has a couple of kids. She said she was mind-melded with Epstein. In my opinion, these people have some questions to answer, but they keep pleading the fifth. Well, the case of Groff and Sarah Kellen. And the police were very, very, very close to charging Sarah Kellen and another recruiter, Hayley Robson, back in 2005. hence the immunity deal. That's at the core of this entire mess. I've taken you through story today. I've also got some more information on Sarah Kellen and Hayley Robson. So I thought, well, since we're in semi-quarantine, I might as well put some information out there. Someone might find it useful. So I will get back to you. If you want more info, please go to the Prince and the Pervert podcast. We are on all major platforms, podcast platforms, or we've got a website, jeffreyepsteinpodcast.com. Thank you so much. I hope this was useful for you. I'm on Twitter, Lisa L. Tate, T-A-I-T. Bye.
Welcome to the Snake Pit, a series of shorter pieces to provide background on the people and the places linked in the horrific Epstein child sex trafficking abuse case. Just a reminder about this podcast, the content can be disturbing.
This is Lisa with the Snake Pit, Chapter 1. First off, we have Epstein's assistant, Sarah Kellen Kensington Bonk, 3 bags full, Vickers, so many names. She reinvented herself after leaving Epstein as an interior designer, but nothing has been updated.